I wanted to ask you guys, how are your kids doing on memorizing the verses? Really great? All right, now if they're not doing really great, I want to give you a few suggestions. Now, number one suggestion I'm going to give, and I really haven't passed this by, but guys, if you sing the short version, then they do it over and over and over about 4 or 5 times. I'm not against the long version because our girls do it and it's so wonderful, but they haven't really then done the verse. So it's just a thought. Then the other thing is that when I'm reviewing and I find my kids are not doing well on it, I'll do it 3 or 4 times right in a row. And you know, because you do get new kids, and I want the new kids I get to come up to par, and so in the end they can say them all too. And so, I mean, just go over them. And so the first one, if you go over it 3 or 4 times, right, and if you do the one song, you could go over it, repeat it over and over and over again. So bring them up to par because these kids, and the only way is to repeat it. Yes.
At the Silmar school yesterday, she did it a good way. She had the boys and the girls do it against each other, and she also had like a ball, and it was softball. They said each line and passed it out to the next one, and then they said the next line, and then they could pass it around the room. So they repeated it quite a number of times, and then when they would take the next one who got the last one, they would pass it to the next person to start it. Then they took the person who got the ball the last time, put them up in the front, and they went around like that. By the time they got done, those children knew it.
Did they know all the verses? They knew all the ones
I don't know about the
before?
rest of them because this is a once a month thing. But that one verse, I watched how she did it. She did a very good job.
And I love that method, but we can't take really too much time. Now, I don't know how much time it took, see? And so you have to be able to teach it within the time frame. But that's a wonderful idea if you have extra time. Yes?
You know, we have a pre-K to like 3rd, 4th graders. Sometimes we are holding the words. We are not even sure they can read them. I suggest that a couple of times we just let them read.
Well, what I'll do is if they're hard, I'll put my hand up. Now you listen. I've done this to the books of the Bible too. All right, you know. Let's see. What is our verse today? What's the first word? And we have seen and testified. Okay, and we have seen and testified. When I snap my fingers, you say what I've said. And we have seen and testified. And I try and do it to the cadence. And we have seen and testified. That the Father sent His Son. To be the Savior of the world. And then if they hesitate on any of this, because let me tell you, I've had many times all of my verses, I've had 3-year-olds say them all at the end of the year. Well, if they say them all when they're a 3-year-old at the end of the year, some of them started when they were 2. And we've got little kids in our classes today. This is the first time I've had these really preschool, and I mean, they're 4. I think I've got 2 or 3 4-year-olds. They know the verses as well as the others.
Good.
And also I noticed that they are paying so much attention to the motions instead of the words.
Okay.
I wonder if we sing without the motions first several times and then with the motions so it sticks with them.
All right. Now, you know what? Thank you for saying that. Because when we're singing, I say, I want you saying every word, and I'm looking around, and I want to see you, because, you know, sometimes we'll have kids not sing. You'll be singing and they're not. No, I'm watching. I want you to say, I'm looking to see, I want everyone saying every word of this. And so I hear you on that. So, and if the motions do distract them, then, now we don't do the motions all the time because I'm not really great at it, but, you know, I've got a little girl that's now going to do them for me because I do think that some of them really love it, and they love it.
I'm probably against motions because they can't concentrate and do all this. So, but if you are for motions, at least do the song and then add the motions.
Yeah. Okay.
But very few motions.
Right. Well, let me just say something on the motions. If you're good at motions and your kids, I have some kids that can do both. So
Yeah.
if it's working to do it, then do it. You know, there's a lot of ways that we have a big scale of what can be done. And I personally love the motions, and I do as many as I can. And especially on the songs, I gotta tell you something. I didn't do my songs too much with motions, but now I'm starting to. They love it on the songs.
Do you like to do the words first, or you try to do both at the same?
Well, I kind of do both, Shari, but then I kind of morph into nothingness. You know, because I do them fast and I just am holding them and I'm only me and I can't really do both is my problem, to hold the verses and do them. But, yes.
When I'm teaching the song and the motions, I actually teach what each motion means and explain the word to them.
Yes.
So that's, for me, that for the little ones, and then all of a sudden the ones that can't read or
Mm-hmm.
want to sing or whatever, it's huge.
Mhm.
It goes over really big with like this.
Right, yeah, good, very good idea. But if I'm saying a verse and I feel like I hear muffling, then I will go over that verse again, even from the past. If I, you know how you can kind of hear slur. What's that slurry that they put in meat? Well, I hear the slurry that, yes, oh, anybody else?
Is there
So,
a copy
yeah.
of the skit? Is there a copy of the skit?
I can send it to Rosa to send you.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. Guys, it was so fun today. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you.
Very much. Wow. Very, very fun. All right, so